to Mindset Monday. Hey, if you're new to the show, this is where Chris Lavin, multiple 8-figure entrepreneur, where he comes and just shares it. Now, before we get into that, I want to say one thing. So I watched Chris, this is before I even started working with him. I watched him one time. Keep in mind, this is a man that like business is kind of like flowing through his blood. And so God's blessed him in that aspect. But I watched the other side of him. One day he went and he heard one of his friends had passed and left a widow behind. And he literally went and paid off that widow's mortgage. Now, he's never said that publicly. He probably never ever would, and I might get in trouble for saying it later. But I remember when I listened to that day, I remember what went through my mind. I'm like, wow, I'd really like a man like this to be in my corner. Could you imagine that? How many times in life have you even heard of that before? That's who you're about to go on this journey with. So if Mindset Monday is new to you, buckle up. I'm going to let Bruce Buffer do the proper intro, but buckle up and just really let this message sink in today.
And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Presenting the master of the real estate deal and entrepreneur champion of the world, Chris, the negotiator, Lavin.
Wow, I love that intro. I'm talking about the Bruce Buffer one, not the Nate one. That was kind of a secret, but excuse me, that's okay. I always get choked up with gratitude when to know my life story, you'd understand how I got into this position is to be able to do something like that is only a gift from God. But there's been circumstance after circumstance after circumstance where God has nudged me forward, and that's what I want to talk about today. The old adage, go big or go home. Tell you what, it's true. Go big or go home. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't know how to do it any other way. So as we step into the last month of the year, most people are going to say, next year I'll go bigger. Next year I'll take more risks. Next year I'll finally go all in. Well, tell you what, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They are stuck because they've aimed too low. Let me share with you my story, my journey, a little bit of my journey. I was involved in a mentorship program, a masterclass, or however you want to say it. And I remember, it's so funny. Let me tell you, I'm going to go into a little bit of depth on this story. So I said, first deal I'm going to do is $15 million. Everyone's like, yeah, you're crazy. You're nuts. It's never going to happen. Excuse me. Never going to happen, blah, 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 blah. And then I later found out, and I also said, I'm not going to use any of my resources to do it. And I later found out that one of the people that was involved in that masterclass said, oh, that guy's full of it. He doesn't have any resources. He doesn't have any money. That's why he's saying these things. Well, I'm here to tell you my first transaction, $15 million. Just like I said it was going to be. You know why? Because I aim high. Now, if I had fallen short and ended up at $10 million, I would have been much further ahead than most people who are looking at doing a $1 million deal. Right? That's the reality of life. If you aim high and you fall a little short, you still do well. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. So, if you go small, if you shoot small, it's got a huge price, right? Because what happens is this. If you shoot small and you make the deal happen, you're like, I could have done so much better. So you pay and regret. When you shoot small, you pay and missed opportunities. This great deal came down the path, but because it was $15 million, you were scared of it and you ran. You pay knowing that you were capable of more and did less. That, man, why didn't I? Why couldn't I? I should have. We all live this, including me. There was a time in my life where I didn't have the confidence in myself to go big. Looking back, the moments where I grew the most, or graduated the most, were never the moments when I played it safe. there were the moments I stretched. When we raised $14 million in 14 days, people thought it was some kind of miracle, some kind of magic. Here's the reality. What they did not see was the years of hard work of building relationships, right? Putting ourselves out there, meeting new people, and the decision to not sprint backwards at all. All of our deals keep getting bigger. It's just the way. That's just the way we do it. So we chose not to play small. And in your own journey, it might look like this: playing small. You keep your goals vague so you never get behind. Things like, oh, I want to make more money. Well, you know what? If you're making $100 today and next year you're making $101, you're making more money. That's a vague goal. Make specific goals. Shoot for them. Reach for the stars. Why not? Oh, man, I was talking to my partner about this a little while ago. There was this amazing woman that was in one of our mastermind programs a while ago. And she was so guilty of this. Hiding beside research instead of making offers. She would analyze the deal and then analyze the deal and then analyze the deal again. And it was so incredibly down to the half a penny. But the reality is she was doing that to keep her from doing the things that she was uncomfortable with. And that uncomfortable thing was putting herself out there instead of actually making a deal, right? Instead of actually making those proposals. She used research as an excuse. Telling yourself you call that broker investor tomorrow. Like, if you look at the calendar, I don't see it tomorrow on the calendar. I really don't. It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And really, the only moment that counts is the moment you're living in. If you keep putting it off and keep putting it off and keep putting it off, you will never do it. If you never do it, you will never do it. And if you never do it, you will never be successful. I mean, people aren't going to, well, maybe they will for you, but people aren't showing up at my front door with wheelbarrows full of cash. It doesn't happen that way. Instead, I want you, as we close the year, I want you to not bring this small mindset with you into the new year. Leave it. Leave it. Here's the opportunity to knock the dust off your shoes and move forward into a new year with a fresh start. Realize that there's an absolute price of playing small and decide that price is too much. It's just too much. You want it different tomorrow, you're going to start doing something different today. So let me take you to a little bit of scripture. For God had not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And that's 2 Timothy 1:7. And I'm here to tell you that there was a time in my life where I used to walk around with bravado, my chest stuck out, and all of that ego. The reality is that I was actually hiding a whole bunch of fear. Since I turned my life over to God, I have been so empowered, absolutely empowered, that I've never turned back. Now remember that whenever I'm telling you to do these things, understand that I don't want to be the final counsel in your life. Everything that I do, I seek guidance from the heavens. Absolutely pray about everything. So I want you to stop playing small because it feels safe. It's the most expensive decision you can make. You pay with missed deals, missed impact, and knowing you're meant for more. Living in constant regret. It's horrible. So I want you to identify one area where you're playing small. Deal size, outreach, capital conversions, or even what your dream looks like. I want you to write that down. Listen, it's so important to write things down because then you own them. They're on paper. And then I want you to take one bigger than normal action. Make that call, send the LOI, ask for the meeting, share the vision, do the thing that stretches you. Just the other day, I'm trying to remember the circumstance where, very personal story. So my stepdaughter, who's given me the most amazing grandson, was in a disagreement with her ex about the holidays. And she wanted to come down here. They live about 4 or 5 hours from here. So the father was saying, I gotta have them on Christmas morning. That's my time. Where she wants to come down, visit grandma and grandpa starting on Monday or Saturday or Sunday or something, and be here through the Christmas holiday. And it was all blowing up because the father didn't want to cooperate. So I got on the phone with her and I said these very, very, very direct words to her. Why don't you tell him that you'll meet him in Orlando, which is halfway, on Christmas Eve. We'll drop him off, and then we'll pick him up on Christmas Day at the end of the evening, and tell him that I suggested that. He's like, oh, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I was like, just go make the phone call. He went and made the phone call, and you know what happened? His response was, yeah, I can do that. Had she never made the request, the holidays would have been broken up and torn up. If you don't reach for more, you're never going to achieve it. So please, 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 if you have the faith that I have, know that God wants more for you. He wants to multiply the blessings and talents you've been given and give you a better day tomorrow. Thank you all for listening.
Chris.
Yes, sir.
Man, beautiful. Hey, you cool with a couple questions?
Sure.
Hey, if you've got a question, now's your chance. Throw it in the chat. It comes anonymously. I will not read your name out loud. I'll literally just read the question out. So if you've got a question for Chris, if you want to get it in there right now, now is your chance. Slide it in there. Chris, one that came through right off the bat was, how do you, when you're trying to play big and you got all this opposition? I remember the day in the room when people were basically doubting your $15 million. How do you not succumb to the peer pressure of saying, no, you know what? Maybe I should second guess myself. How do you keep your mind up here regardless of the circumstances around you?
I hate to sound like a broken record, but understand that the number one thing that I do whenever I get involved in a deal is I pray about it. And if God has given me direction, it becomes a Blues Brothers movie. And if you don't know what I mean, there's a famous line in the Blues Brothers movie where he says, they can't stop us. We're on a mission from God. And that's the reality. If God is telling me what to do, I do it without hesitation.
Beautiful. Okay, let's get to your questions. I'm going to start reading them from the chat. Go ahead, slide them in now. And we only get Chris for a little bit here. So if you got one now, you get to slide it in there. How can I do this if money was stolen from me, if I've got no assets?
How can you do it?
I don't know if this
you do it well. You do it well. Let me tell you what I mean. There are ways to make a whole deal happen, right? First of all, if you're involved in our circle and you're involved in our academy, you can partner with Home Invest on any deals, and we will make a whole bunch of the deal happen for you and give you that lift. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. There's another way to do it, and that is to do what's called syndication, which is what Home Invest does here, is we do syndications. And listen, you can borrow the money for everything from the earnest money deposit all the way through all of it, right? And you can bring syndication pieces in. And what that means is put a bunch of investors together to make the deal happen. There's all kinds of ways to do. I did it. I'm sure you can. Believe me. We do this 3-day webinar every couple of weeks or so, a couple of weeks now, where we teach people how to do this stuff. So jump on the Home Invest Academy page, homeinvestacademy.com. Our people will put a link up where you can see how we teach people how to do these things on a regular basis. Because the reality is, God has blessed us with opportunities, and it's our responsibility to share them with everybody. So invest in yourself and jump on that website.
Chris, next one is Bible verses or Bible stories. Do you have any good stories you like to reflect on to keep your mind in a positive spot?
I'm drawing a blank right now. I can only paraphrase it. God so loved the world, he gave his only son. I've lost children. I know what that means. And to know that no matter what, God loves me so deeply that he did that, and he's directing my life, and he wants it, nothing's going to stop it. So I always seek godly counsel in everything that I do. And I get overwhelmed with emotion because it's just absolute gratitude. If you knew the whole story of my life and where I came from and how God has lifted me from living hell on earth to a place of peace and of joy and of usefulness, you would understand my emotions. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That's an amazing thing to me.
Chris, how do you experience confirmation from God when you pray?
Oh, God talks to me. I say that because God laughs at me too. And there's a story behind that. But and when I say God talks to me, I don't hear God say, Chris, go do this. Most of my communication with God is like a movement or a pull from my soul. But very recently, I was involved in a deal where my goal for the deal, talk about go big or stay home. My goal for the deal was $40 million, and what impact I could have with the world when I finalized that transaction was going to make the deal happen for $40 million. And this deal, I just couldn't get the deal to happen. It kept falling apart, kept falling. Literally, people died in the middle of the transaction, preventing it from happening. And I remember getting in prayer and saying, God, you told me to sell this business. What am I doing wrong? And God laughed at me. When I tell you, he chuckled, like I could feel him chuckling at me, like, "Oh, you're so cute," type of thing. And he said, $40 million. You think that's big? Watch what you can do for 200 million, 250, 300 million. Watch how great I am. God told me, watch how great I am. Not Chris. Chris is not great. Watch how great I am. And literally, that deal, like right after, I was like, turned into a deal where we're going to exit with north of $250 million. And we'll be able to use that money to positively impact the world. So not only does God talk to me, he laughs at me, and sometimes he kicks me in the butt. So we have all kinds of communication. I know that was a long-winded answer. I'm sorry, but that's my experience.
Chris, it'd be fun to have you do a class on how to listen. How do you actually
listen to God? Yeah. See, I pray, but whatever praying is talking to God, meditating, like sitting quietly. I get on my knees when I pray to humble myself before God. To sit there for as long as I talked, to listen, that's what all the answers come from me.
Chris, your next question is on choosing the right mentors. This person's saying that they had a $1.2 billion data center deal that their mentor, not you, somebody else, their mentor had told them that's too big for them to go after. How do you choose the right mentor that's going to foster and encourage you and not hold you back?
They would never make statements like that to me, right? Too big. No, that's somebody that has an inherent need to keep you down so that they could feel elevated or above you. That's my opinion without all of the facts. My biggest pull towards mentors or people that can help me are sharing the same spiritual belief system, having the same spiritual belief system and the same heart to give back, like to believe in more. That's what I base it on. I feel like that if somebody really truly has the same spirituals basis or same spiritual beliefs that I have, their nature is to be more encouraging and more nurturing and more helpful, because I get more joy from other people's successes than I do from any of my own success. Now, there's even a Jewish word for that, a Yiddish word, and it's called kvel. It's when your heart swells as a result of somebody else doing well.
Chris, next one is, if I join today, can I come to the December live event, or do I have to wait until January?
Isn't it a live event in like 2 days?
2 days.
Sure. If you can make that happen, we'll make it happen. We're all in.
So 2 days from now, yes. A couple days. Wednesday this week.
Reach out to your advisor right away. Whoever your advisor is, get it. But you would have to do something like today, book your tickets. I don't know where you're coming from. But yeah, we're all accommodating. We really try our best to help everybody.
Next one, is there an option to join in a partnership with you and Nate and Home Invest and have it be paid through the investments that we secure?
No, absolutely not. And let me explain why. If you're not willing to gamble on yourself and invest in yourself, why should I invest in you? I'm going to be very straightforward. So what this person, I perceive this question to be, well, I'm going to go out and find a deal, and I'm going to bring the deal, and then you're going to pay for my academy stuff through the profits in that deal. Well, listen, if you don't believe in enough in yourself to invest in you and put some skin in the game, why should I? Right? Because working with somebody like that takes my time away from people who have invested themselves. And I'm not trying to sound arrogant or egotistical, but you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like going into a marriage with a prenup. You're either in or you're out. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel.
What most people don't understand is that Chris literally writes the check for earnest money
Yeah.
for inspections. And this is like several $100,000 earnest money, inspections.
Several hundred, like, sometimes a million.
He pays to fly me out. He pays for the inspector. Like he writes a lot of checks. And so that's why that is that way. Your next question, Chris, let me just make sure it's a question, not a statement. Oh, you got a lot of them coming in today. Okay. How do you trust after you were burned out of a large amount of money and you were lied to? How do you jump back in?
Listen, do you want to live your life, the rest of your life in fear? No. Couple things that you've got to understand that make me able to make that statement and sound flippant. One is, no, not a single penny of my checking account belongs to Chris. It's all God's money. So if somebody stole it, God allowed it to happen, and it may be part of their salvation, something I'm not involved in, right? First of all. Second of all, if somebody harms you yesterday and their actions are continuing to harm you today, you have to accept responsibility for that. In other words, they stole from you, shame on them. Allowing them to continue to harm you through your resentment or rethinking or refeeling that is really debilitating. It's like drinking poison to get even with somebody. It doesn't work. Forgiveness is one of the things that sets me free and moving forward. Money is probably the least important thing in my life. And I say that when I have $1 in my checking account or $10 million in my checking account. Anybody that truly knows me at a personal level has seen me go through some of the difficult times in my life financially where things didn't go exactly the way they were supposed to. But I kept faith. And I knew that absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. So vengeance is not mine. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So I let God deal with those people. Now, if I have a way to involve authorities and the legal system to make that happen, remember, God put them here too. And we can make that happen.
Chris, if I have $500,000, what would be the best way to invest it?
That's a complicated question, and I'm going to give you some stuff off the cuff, but I would really like if our team would post the link for somebody to get a hold of an advisor, because this is based on your personal circumstances. In other words, if you have a lot of taxes to deal with, I would advise you invest it one way in certain type of transactions. If you're looking for the maximum amount of returns, I would advise you invest it in a different way. Certain real estate deals have high tax benefits. Certain real estate deals have high cash flow benefits with minimal tax benefits. So that's a really personal question that I don't want to answer without having all the facts. But so I'm just giving you like a broad answer. And I'm really sorry, I'm not trying to be evasive. But our team is going to put the link in the chat right now.
And that's the advisor link for Sue and for Doug.
Yeah.
The Home Invest
Our
side.
team's going to do that right now. There you go.
So the recent link right there, that'll get you to one of our investment advisors and just have an open conversation with them, and they'll tell you. Chris, maybe you could elaborate just for a second, because
Sure.
that tax thing, like tax benefits, that could be really broad. Like you're a guy that God blesses year after year. You do very well.
And I get lots of tax refunds.
Yeah, you keep getting these refund checks. I have one right here.
Yeah.
How does this work? Because maybe that would help steer this person.
So let's bring this in a little bit. Can you see that? Probably not. Oh, there you go. It's auto focusing. That was 53,000. This one, can you see that? It's for 43,000. I don't know why the camera's not focusing. There you go. That was 46,000. So in these deals, they were very tax focused. So wealth is not about earning. Well, part of wealth is earning a lot of money. The second part of wealth is keeping a lot of money. And the way you do that is by utilizing multifamily real estate to drive down your tax burden so that you get these checks back and reinvest them and make more money to do more things. And by the way, that believe in more over here, I'm sorry, it's backwards, is not money. See, I use this money that I would have given to the IRS to feed children, to open food kitchens, and to have a positive impact in the world. So I'd much rather use this money to do that than to give it to Uncle Sam so they can build a bridge to nowhere.
Chris, I'm going to respect your time, So one more question I'm going to read to you, and then we'll let you sign off from here. So I'm ready to start. I work diligently. I'll do as directed. What realistic time frame would it be realistic for me to do a deal within a month?
The answer to that question, again, is I'm going to be vague. My first deal took me, I think, 7 months, right? But I had a whole bunch of education to do on the front end. I own another business that I was working 16 hours a day at the time, and that was what distracted me. Had I had more time, I probably would have got the deal done in less time. Finding a deal and getting the deal lined up in 1 month, very possible. But understand, it takes like 2 to 3 months to close a deal once you have everything lined up. So there's no way to close on a deal in 1 month, but you could surely find one and start the process. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, Chris has some folks that he's helped a ton. I'm thinking about Bruce. I'm thinking about Sam, who literally like first 30 days they're getting deal after deal.
Oh my God! One guy put out 56 LOIs in the past 7 days. If you work like that, you'll get a deal fast.
Yeah, nailed it. Chris, thank you for taking this time to do
Thank you,
this.
brother.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe if you're following on social media somewhere. And then if you're live on Zoom with Chris right now, just be back for the next one. And remember, he's got Opportunity Zone tomorrow too.
Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, every Tuesday, every Monday, we'll be here. And listen, I want to thank everybody for showing up because God's blessed me with this talent and experience. And if I didn't have you to share it with, I would not be multiplying the talents God has blessed me with. So thank you so very much. And remember this. God wants you to live. He doesn't want you to survive. I believe it's God's will for us to be happy, joyous, and free. And if I can make that happen, if God can make that happen for me, then He surely do it for you because He doesn't love me any more than He loves you. And He doesn't love you any more than He loves me. God bless you all. Thank you.